The light. Ooh, that's a big difference.
Let the light shine.
Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And today we're going to be doing the second half of my What Solds, which will be for last weekend, Friday through Sunday, December 6th through the 8th. And that Sunday, y'all, was my highest ever. Except for the one time we sold that $2,000 item. Highest that I think I've ever sold in a single day. I was this close to $900. So it was a really, really good weekend. And that's not even including Etsy. Y'all, I have, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I think 8 or 9 Etsy sales to share with you. But shocking. No Mercari, no Poshmark for that weekend. The thing with Etsy is I ran a sale, a 10% off sale that weekend. And I don't know why I just didn't go ahead and keep it going, because it was such a really good weekend. And then the sale ended, and I've sold some things, but nothing like that weekend. And I mean, I constantly run a sale on eBay. I don't know why I'm not doing it for Etsy. And then Etsy's fees are better. So I think right after this video, I'm going to go put Etsy on sale and see how it does over the next couple. Maybe I'll just have it run through the end of the year and see what happens. You got anything to add? Nope.
Nothing's popped into my head yet.
Nope. All right. Well, let me go ahead and show you what sold on Etsy and on eBay. First thing, just remember, these prices don't reflect the 10% off sale, and I cannot figure out how to get that little red marker to work like I use on eBay.
And also does not include shipping.
Right. Does not include shipping. Correct there, Robert.
Always am.
All right. First thing that sold was this Smurfs red and yellow Smurfette mushroom house. I learned about these a couple years ago, but I very seldom find them. And then at that one yard sale in Illinois, when we were going to Missouri, we got detoured off of a highway because of an accident. Y'all, that's the same one where we found all the mortuary stuff. I picked up, I want to say, many, 5 or 6 different types of Smurf houses. And they all have done so well. But this particular one sold for $44.95.
Now I have something to chime in with.
Okay.
It didn't take long, did it?
No.
You said Smurfs and Smurfette, or maybe you said Smurf. Whatever it was, it reminded me that you were looking something up on... You have the issue with Levi's, that
Yes.
people have gotten Veros because they're able to be shipped to the European Union, and you took them all down, except then you found out you had some, because when you took them down, you searched for Levi's. But then you have had several listed that were Levi Strauss.
Yep.
But then you were looking something up yesterday, trying to find it, and I don't remember what it was.
A minion that had sold on... Well, I had an offer on Poshmark. And y'all, anytime I get an offer off of eBay, I'd make sure, just in case somehow there's been a disconnect and I didn't catch that it had already previously sold. I always go check. And I couldn't find it. I put
on
in
eBay.
On eBay. I put in minion, and I even copied the first couple of words. Nothing pulled up. So I thought, there was a point last year that I accidentally deleted a bunch of listings. And I thought it probably was one of them. I went ahead and accepted the offer. And then when I went to eBay, it was in my unsolds because I was looking up the word minions instead of minion. And I don't understand why eBay is having this issue. Anything that's plural should be pulling up, or singular should be pulling up keywords, especially in our stores, that are close. You know what I mean? Levi, Levi's, minion, minions. I'm not sure why eBay has all of a sudden, in the last many months, this past year it changed, that, the S on the ends of words makes all the difference when you're doing a search and when you're looking in your own store for stuff. So, don't understand it. Next thing on Etsy was this Hallmark Ramona reindeer plush. She sold for $17.95.
But apparently it can tell to bring up
Yeah.
armadillo when somebody types in armadillo.
Yeah. This next item was from my Snoopy lot. It was a Snoopy World's Greatest Tennis Player statue. It sold for $17.95. This person sent me the nicest message. This was like one of her children's favorite plush growing up. Somehow, this how the story goes. Somewhere along the way, it got lost or damaged or something, and she was talking about it with somebody one day, and they said, have you checked online to see if you could find it? Well, for whatever reason, she actually found it in my Etsy store, not in my eBay store, and she purchased it. It is a baby Thai Huggy Pup dog plush. Now, these are smaller than the normal plush, the Thais. It's only 8 inches tall. It was from 2004. I have found this a couple of times, and it always does very well for me. It sold on Etsy for $26.95. This Thai Zip Black Cat plush. I picked this up at my favorite little estate sale company. I paid $2 each for a bunch of plush, and then $1 for some of the smaller things that I had picked up that day. So this Thai plush sold for $26.95. Just showed this in a recent haul. Picked up Littlefoot from Land Before Time. I had found Sarah previously at a different time, different state. So I knew when I found him that he was something that I wanted to pick up. Even with some of the condition issues that he had, he still sold on Etsy very quickly, $26.95. All right, I showed these also in a recent haul. Picked up some Christmas ornaments. These little merry-go-round ornaments from Noma sold for $16.95, minus 10%. This little black poodle dog figure was made in Hong Kong. I've just been kind of putting a large variety of items on there, even some of the smaller dollar items. I had spoke with Laura, who we met up out in St. Louis a couple of times now and done lunch with her. And she had told me she sells a lot of stuff on Etsy, and she even puts her low dollar stuff on there. So last year when I was listing stuff, I was really only putting my high dollar stuff on there. So now I'm just trying to do a good variety of vintage stuff. And this sold very quickly on Etsy. It would have been $8.96. And then my best sell on Etsy, but technically not my best. Oh, it could be close. Very close to my best sell for the whole weekend was this. This is Miss Noah. I love that brand. I hardly ever find it. This was a Santa Claus doll. You can always tell with the Miss Noah, their eyes are made out of fabric, like wispy, like eyelashes. I don't find them very often. I love them. But this Santa Claus doll sold on Etsy for $116. I wrote it down, $116.95. I actually sold a really large Miss Noah bear and airplane many years ago. I want to say it was over $200. It was such, I love finding this stuff, but believe me, I'm lucky if I find one a year, if that. On eBay, first thing that sold that I'm sharing with you is this Christmas elf gnome figure. It was in a Christmas lot. It has been listed for a really, really long time, and it finally sold for $17.95. I love picking up vintage Christmas. Even if it's going to take a while to sell, I'm still going to pick it up. All right, Scooby-Doo pillow. I went to a yard sale like the end of last year, beginning of this year. Not quite sure when. Bought a bunch of Scooby stuff. Got a bulk price on it. I don't remember how much I spent that day. But this pillow sold for $13.45. Charlotte Hornets Bear Cheerleader Plush. This is by Play by Play. I talk about that brand on occasion. A lot of times it's cartoonish sports stuff like this. Characters, but not really characters like Scooby-Doo and stuff. Something that'll look like it, but not really like it. But this particular one with the little hornet next to it sold for $11.66. Probably a brand I need to just start steering clear of, I think. It takes a very long time to sell. Department 56, this fish cannery, New England, wasn't very big. Sold for $19.95. VTech Go Smart. I show these once in a while as things that I pick up at the bins. These were animals. Sometimes it's the fairies or the children looking ones. Sometimes they're vehicles. These 3 animals, which was funny, I had pulled them to put another one with them. And when I went to test the one I was going to add, the batteries had totally corroded and it wasn't working. So I turned around, I had ended them already. So relisted them and they sold just like that. $17.95. Chosun, it's a brand I really like. This little brown and white dog sold for $14. Wild Republic Brown Owl Plush sold for $12.11. Lots of bread and butter right now. Safe Step. It's advertising plush. I don't remember what Safe Step is, but it was a penguin and it sold for $12.95. You know, the thing I wanted to talk about also is, you know, everybody talks about sell-through rate all year long. I try to base a lot of my prices on what I think it's going to sell for during fourth quarter. So sometimes my prices will be up because I know during fourth quarter things are going to sell better than they do normally throughout the year. So, you know, I talk about it all the time, especially throughout the summer when things are slow and it's just, you know, everybody's upset because hardly anything is selling. Just keep thinking about fourth quarter, especially if you sell the things like I sell. Because you know, this right now, I think I'm up 45% from last month. And last month was okay. October sucked, but October was still okay. But I'm 45% up. I've made more in this quarter than I think I've ever made before. So it's just keep listing, keep working towards fourth quarter. And, you know, hopefully the sales will come like they have for me this year.
And be willing to take some offers.
Yeah, I appreciate that he does my offers, but he just admitted to me. Well, no, he admitted in my Discord that he has bumped...
Wait. I put in there, Rebel, do not read this.
He's started sending out 50% offers on some of the older stuff. Which
they need to go.
They really do need to go. If they've not sold over 2 or 3 fourth quarters, they need to go. They need to go. But I don't send out 50% offers.
I do. I'll try to do more. If y'all are shopping, I'll try to get to them more often now. But my thought on it is, we are not an inventory storage warehouse.
No.
We are resellers. We need to sell stuff. Mm-hmm. But we don't want to sell things cheaply because we saw that on Amazon. We did a lot of our retail arbitrage on Amazon. That's how we did Amazon. We would go to Walmart. For whatever reason, there are people that will not shop at Walmart, but will buy the same item on Amazon for more money. I don't know why.
Nope.
But they will buy the Walmart brands, Great Value and Equate, on Amazon for more money instead of buying it from the Walmart store or Walmart online. I don't know why.
Maybe some people don't live near a Walmart.
And that was one of them. Somebody said they don't live near Walmart. We were selling some raw sugar. And they said their nearest Walmart was 2 hours away. And that's the only place they could get it. But because we were selling it on Amazon, even though it was a higher price, they didn't have a 2-hour drive to get the sugar they liked.
Right.
So we did a lot of retail arbitrage. We would go to the Walmarts around here and buy stuff. And we would find something, because you got to consider, Amazon has a lot of fees. Yes. Because they're doing the shipping for you. And so you could sell something for $5. and only make 75 cents or $1 on it, because that's just, by the time you buy it, you ship it in, and it just...
all that added up.
It all added up. But we would find something. I love the toothbrush example because Rebel hated them. But I would buy these toothbrushes for $1, and they would sell for, it was either $4 or $5 on Amazon.
Right.
But we only made $1 profit.
Right.
Because by the time the FBA shipping and the shipping to them and the fees and everything, we made $1. Rebel hated it, but the lady at Walmart would order them for me, and I would order like 300 of them, and I could prep like 150 of them in an hour. So to me, I'm making $150 an hour, kind of. Not exactly, but close. But she didn't like the $1 profit because she liked the eBay model.
Yes.
And it worked great.
It
until
irked me for, 4 or 5 years that we did Amazon.
Anyway, back to my toothbrushes that I love so much, that if I could still sell them and make $1 profit on, I would. But the problem is, somebody came in and said, I'll do it for... They lowered the price by 10 cents. So now we're only making 90 cents. And then somebody did it for 70 and then 50. And pretty soon, we had already quit selling them because it wasn't worth it anymore. Because the price, we could see the trajectory. And eventually I checked on them one day and it was like a nickel.
Right.
So somebody got a better deal. They got it from a wholesaler, a better deal than Walmart or something. But that's the way it was on Amazon. The price just always went down. So you don't want to do that on eBay.
No.
You don't want to come in and, hey, this thing sells for $40. I'm just going to, and I got a bunch of them to sell. I'm going to sell them for $10 and get rid of them. You're sort of tanking the market. And if you continue to do that, then the market is going to get destroyed.
Right.
So you don't want to do that. Sell it for a fair price and don't kill the market. But also don't be an inventory warehouse.
Right.
And take the emotion out of it.
Yes.
My dear wife, I love her to death. But she puts too much emotion into what toys are worth sometimes.
Especially the vintage. Vintage pinback button pins. I bought a bag of these at an estate sale. I paid $5. My thoughts were I was going to go through them, and there were certain ones of them that were probably going to be good enough to sell alone, and then reality hit me, and I just didn't want to. I didn't want a project, so I just laid them all out, took pictures, and they actually sold very quickly, $31.45. I'm just say no to projects this next year. Blues Clues Puppy Nightlight Plush. This is from the newer Blues Clues, dated 2020. They just do not sell very well. There may be exceptions, but for the most part, I'm thinking no. Now, a lot of the vintage stuff may do better, but I've even seen those prices come down over the last few years. I'm still going to pick up some Blues Clues, but I think I'm going to avoid the newer stuff unless I've, checked comps. Tonka Pooch Patrol. Funniest thing is, when I showed this in the video that I did the haul on, several of you guys had just said, I just found this, I just listed this, at the same time that I was listing mine. Mine sold. I hope you guys have too. But this was the Pooch Patrol gray dog, and he sold very quickly, $17.95. Brown bear plush with the pacifier in his mouth. Never could figure out who the brand was. Sold for $15.25, but it took a very long time. And if you notice, up there in my custom label, this thing has been listed since before 2212. So older than 2 years ago. And it still sold at my sell price. It wasn't an offer that Robert sent out, although I have a couple of them you're going to notice here in my solds.
Quit reading stuff I told you not to read.
This is a viewer sale, so thanks again, Sherry. Sherry saw this in a recent haul. It was the Walmart Monkey 8 plush with the banana, and it sold for $25. So thanks again, Sherry. American Eagle denim shorts, $13.21 in December. Pottery Barn Kids. Again, that's one of those brands I have a really, really hard time selling. This one actually wasn't listed for very long, a couple of months, and it finally sold for $26.95. But it's probably one of those that I'm going to check comps and sell through rate before I pick them up. This is a baby doll bottle. At first I thought it might be Baby Alive, but it wasn't marked. I'm not going to take that chance saying that it is and it not be and not work and just no. No markings, sold for $12.71. Simon 2. This is the full-size game. Probably, yeah, if I pay $1 or $2 for it, maybe I'm going to pick it up. But they do take a little while to sell. It does sell during fourth quarter. A lot of games are purchased, a lot of plush, a lot of dolls, a lot of collectibles. This one sold for $11.66. I had a bag full of these Oreo Matching Middles games pieces by Fisher-Price. It was not complete. I just went ahead and all of these did actually have a match, and I sold the 8 sets for $12. Now this was picked up at the bins. Didn't know what it was, but I knew it was My Pet Monster. Come to find out, it was little, 1.5 inches tall. It's a bow biter for like your shoelaces, which I probably should have put that in my description or my title. I only had the one. There should have been 2, but it still sold in like 2 months for $16.15. All right, here's one of those I'm thinking very close to 50% off. Yeah. 50% off. This was a jelly cat, but again, it's been listed over 2 years. I thought at the time I listed it, it was unique and harder to find, but it just never would sell. It finally sold $25.47. But y'all, that's a really good price for most Bashful Rabbits from the Jellycat series. Cut from the cloth. There was a time I thought that those were like gonna just sell so quickly and for high dollar. No, these were just women's skinny distressed ankle high-rise jeans, sold for $17.71, but they take a while to sell. Unita Troll Doll. This was one of the small ones, 3-inch, sold very quickly for $10. A brown bear plush backpack. Never could figure out the brand on this one. I do really well with backpack, stuffed animal plush type things. This one sold for $20. Another one of those really old listings. These were some vintage pencil toppers. All of them were like dogs. They were like flocked, and they sold for $10. Fisher-Price Little People Nativity. Usually I make small lots or I'll part them out. This was just the musical manger, and it sold for $10. Burcore Collection was the brand on this. It was a gray poodle dog, and it sold for $17.95. Picked this up at a yard sale this summer, bought a bunch of Disney. Almost everything there was $1 that day, so I paid $1 for a Tiki Kingdom Eeyore coffee cup, sold for $10. Build-A-Bear, one of my older listings, sold for $15.25. Here's another Jellycat Bashful Rabbit. Again, really, really old. I had to go back and see if maybe the same person bought the 2 rabbits, but they didn't. This one sold for $15.25. Funny thing is, I sold 3 of these that weekend. 3 of these IKEA Golden Dog Plush. This one sold for $14.54.
2 of them went to the same person.
Yeah. Kelly Toy Bear Plush dressed up like a doctor from 1999, sold for $15.25. Commonwealth The Ugly Duckling Plush from 1992, sold for $16.16. Starbucks Barista Bear Plush from 2018, sold for $20. Smile International That's the name of the brand. This was actually from that private pick estate sale that we went to 2 summers ago. And all the plush was hanging when we went to the house. This was from 1991 and it sold for $35.95. Nancy Tillman Dimdaco Polar Bear Lovey from the book On the Night You Were Born sold for $17.95. This was the Inga Glass Christmas ornament. It was shaped like a cottage. I actually had 2 of them. I think now I have sold officially both of them. This one sold for $16.16. Douglas Cuddle Toys Bengal Tiger. I thought this was going to be one of those that was going to take a while to sell. It sold immediately after listing for $13.45. I think this was in the stuff that Shannon gave me. This was a Plushland Florida Gators alligator plush, sold for $8.96. Hug Fun. Not a brand I pick up very often anymore, but it must have been in a bag lot. If I've got it, I'm going to go ahead and list it. This little white chicken or duck sold for $9.86. Aurora Destination. Not one that I'm going to pick up very much anymore either. They have like dolphins and other animals. They are a very slow sell. This one took almost like 2 years to sell. The pink penguin sold for $16.16. Fisher Price GeoTrax train. I guess the series was called The Wildest Team. Y'all, I have a huge tote of GeoTrax over here. I have got to get it processed. I try to make lots. Like I'll do maybe a few vehicles. I think there's remote controlled trains in there that do very well. I do track lots. The buildings all get sold separately. This one sold for $9.86. Fisher Price Little People Nativity. This was Mary and the Shepherd from 2008, $8.96. Here's the 2 other of the golden dogs that sold. One of them sold for $16.16 and the other one sold for $17.95. But 3 of them in one weekend. Cloud Island White Unicorn Lovey sold for $8.96. Pretty sure that was in a bag. This person bought 2 of the alien plush. I just showed this one and listed it. It is by Goffa. It was in one of the bags from the red, white, and blue. This one sold for $11, and they also purchased this Classic Toy Company little green one for $15. Any aliens I list, they tend to sell very quickly for me. This was another one of those plush that I could not figure out the brand. Little white dog sold for $11.66. Bad Boy MMA blue hoodie. I'm thinking that was a Ben's pickup. Maybe. It's only been listed like 2 months. Sold for $49. Campbell Soup Bowls covers. Lots of you knew what they were when I showed them in the video. I had no clue other than that it said Campbell's. But they're like microwavable bowl covers. I'm not quite sure. Sold for $8. Batot Our Generation doll clothes sold for $14.36. Picked this up at the red, white, and blue in Florida. It had some learning curve dolls or little dollhouse dolls in there. I listed them separately. I think there was a couple of Loving Family things in there, but I was very surprised to see how well this sold, and it sold instantly. It is the Twin Time silver van, and it sold for $30. Here's another one of those 50% off or more offers.
You should have sold your crap faster.
This is Pillow People. I just knew that it was going to sell quicker. It was huge. It was in a large box that I had pre-packed. And it finally sold after... This may have come with me from my other house, so 12 years. Finally sold for $20.
How old is that? 3BR? 3 years before Robert?
Yeah. All right, Wrangler men's jeans, $17.71. Wrangler, y'all. Thomas the Train vehicles. These are the magnetic ones. They're called Take Along. They sold for $16.15. Second to the best, third to the best sell of the weekend, I had listed 2 Bufords. This one and a larger one in a lot. I want to say I listed them for $250. I got a request from somebody that said, would I just sell the smaller one for $100? I went and checked comps. $100 was reasonable. I went ahead and made a new listing with just the smaller Buford. The other one's listed already too. And it sold for the $100. This is my best sell of the weekend on eBay. Yes, that's an ugly picture because this person is from Japan and she wanted to buy several. I think it ended up being 6 lots of vintage plush. I thought about just putting them on eBay like this and have them shipped through eBay International. For some reason, she could not get it work, or at least she told me she could not get it to show up through eBay International. So I just decided to go ahead and make it a direct ship to Japan for her. I want to say she paid like $40 some shipping. But you know, sometimes it's worth. I've never had an issue with a buyer from Japan. I used to ship international all the time, and then I just kind of went along with everybody else and did the eBay International. I'm really happy for the most part with that because, you know, once it gets to the hub, we're done. If there's a problem with the order, you know, eBay takes care of it. eBay deals with the refunds and any other shipping issues. You know, it's just easier, but I just decided to go ahead and work with her because it was a $128 order for a bunch of plush that had been listed for quite a while. And so I was willing to work with her. You know, you got to figure out what your comfort level is. And I was comfortable shipping stuff to to Japan. And, you know, I've just went ahead and put in a couple of the pictures of the items from the original listings. I also included the descriptions from each of the listings in the description of this listing, just so if there were issues with that plush, I still was stating it in the listing. But so far, you know, I've not heard from her. I'm assuming it's not there yet. So hopefully there won't be any issues with this order. All right, hope you guys enjoyed this video. Hope you're getting ideas for next year, what to be looking for, what not to be looking for, because we all have those examples too. And I'm ready for the slowdown. I'm ready to go on vacation, so it's time to get to work though before we leave. All right, bye.